So after testing the basic program, let's move on to the more advanced one. So in this advanced program, we would like to have the user to shake the whole device by at least 5 times in order to stop the alarm after it goes off, instead of just putting your hands in front of the ultrasonic sensor, so that we can ensure the user wake up after the alarm goes off. In order to do so, the program will be a little bit more difficult. So as what I did in the basic part of the program, I will first of all write the whole program with you, and then we'll explain the whole program after the program is written. So let's get started. So we will start with the basic program, and we will add two more variables other than the variable time. So click variable, make a variable. We will make a new variable called alarming, and then we'll make one more called shaking. So in the part of on start, we will then set the variable, the two new variables here. One is alarming and another is shaking. And we will set shaking to be 0, but there will be one special thing, that we will set the alarming to false. Okay, click logic, and then there's new things called false, and we will put the false command to here. And this is a very new concept in our programming. And I will explain this part in more details in the end of at the very end of this video. So after that, we will add one more things here in the on button A and B pressed. We would first of all remove this part, because we would like to make use of the recorder instead of the ringtone played by the microbit. So we throw this away, and then we set the variable alarming to be true. So click logic, and there will be a true command here, and put it here. So when the alarming variable is false, then the alarm will not goes off. It will just mute. And then if the alarming variable becomes true, then we would like to have the alarm goes off. And how can we do so? We will do this a little bit later in the part of forever. But before we change the commands in forever, we would like to add one more things, because as I mentioned, that we would like to have the alarm stopped after the user shake the whole device by 5 times. So we will need to sense whether the microbit is shaken. So click input, and then drag this on shake command here. And then we would like to see how many times the user shake the device. So we need to count the number of shaking. In order to do so, we need to add 1 to the variable of shaking after shaking. So drag logic if command to here. And then in this condition, we'll have the comparison. Click logic, and then drag this equal sign to here. And then drag alarming to here, and then drag through to here. So that means if the alarm is going off, the user when the users shake the device, we would like to add the number of shaking by 1. So we click variable change shaking by 1. So when the alarm is going off and the user start to shake the device, the variable of the value of the variable shaking will be increased by 1. And then we would like to show the number of shaking. So show number shaking. So if the alarm goes off, if the user just shake the device by 1, the number will be 1. And if this is repeated twice, the value of shaking will be 2, and the number we show here will be 2, etc. So if the number is 5, that means if the user shake the device 5 times, we would like to stop the alarm. In order to do so, we need to change the commands here. So first of all, we drag all these commands away first, and then we will rewrite the program inside forever. So click logic, and then drag the if true then commands inside forever. And inside the condition here, we would like to have a comparison. So click this, drag here to here, and then we will see whether the alarming is true or not. If the alarming equals true, that means the alarm is going off, then we will do the following. We will play the record voice once inside the recorder. So click InnoBit, recorder, play record voice once, drag to here. So if the alarming variables is true, that is, if the value stored in the alarming is true, then we would like to have the recorder play once. If you would like to see how to record any voice or any alarming messages when you play the recorded voice, you can refer to another tutorial in this chapter. So after playing the record voice once, we need to pause the program for a while. Let's say if we want to pause the program 2 seconds here. There is one thing that I would like to remind every one of you. The duration that we set here depends on how long you record the messages or the alarm in the recorder. If you record a message for around say 5 seconds, this part needs to be a little bit more than 5 seconds. If you record a message for 2 seconds, then I would recommend you to pause for, let's say, 3 seconds. So the duration here depends on how long you record the message inside the recorder. So your version may not be 2000 here. And after the alarm is going off, we would try to detect whether the value of shaking is more than 5 or not. If it is 5 or more, then we'd like to stop the alarm. In order to do so, we need to have one more if here and put it in this part. So we will like to check whether shaking is greater than or equal to 5 or not. If shaking is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, this part will not be run. But if shaking is 5 or more, then we would like to have the alarm stopped. So we will set alarming to become false. So after shaking is 5, then we will set the values of alarming to be false. And after setting the alarm to be false, we would like to have everything going back to the very beginning. So we would like to have this part to be done again. So we also need to set the time to be 0, shaking to be 0 again, and show the tick icon. So we duplicate these 3 to here. In this way, after the alarm goes off, then we will play the recorded voice once. If the shaking value is not more than 5, then we'll go back to here and then we'll do this again until the shaking value becomes 5 or more. Then we will set the alarming to false so that later we will not go into this part again. And then we will do this initialization, that is to make sure that the whole device go back to the very beginning so that the user can then set the time duration again for the alarm to work again. So that is the end of the whole program. And then we will now explain the whole program again in more detail. So in the very beginning of this advanced program, we have 3 variables in the onStart command. And there is a very special variable type called Boolean. Boolean type of variable is very common in ordinary programming. It is a type of variable that can only store 2 values. One is true and another is false. Now we only have these 2 types of values that can be stored in this kind of variable. In our program, the value of alarming is actually indicating the condition of the alarm. If we want to have the alarm to go off, we would like to set the alarm, the value to be true. If we want to have the alarm mute, then we will need to set the alarming variable to be false. And there's also another new variable called shaking to store the number of shaking in this program. And in order to play the recorded voice, we will need to make use of the alarming variable. After counting down of the time, then we will have the value of the alarming to become true in order to trigger the voice recorder to play once. And after setting the alarming variable to be true, it will trigger the following part of the program. So that is inside the forever loop. As you can see here, that the very beginning of this part is to check whether the value of alarming is true or not. If it is false, then this part is not working. Okay, we will do nothing when the value of alarming is false. But after counting down the time, the program will set the alarming to be true, such that we can have this part of the program working. Because when the alarming variable is true, then it will move on to play the recorded voice once. And after playing the recorded voice, we will then check whether the number of shaking is higher than or equals to 5. If this is smaller than 5, this part is not done, and then this loop will be done again. And if the alarming is true, the voice will be played once again until shaking is 5 or more. Then we will set the alarming to be false. In this way, the alarming will become false to disable this part of loop. So when it go back, because the alarm is false, this part is not done again. So we will then be able to stop the whole alarm. And after stopping the alarm, we would like to also initialize everything. That is, we would like to have the whole device to go back to the very beginning condition. So that's why we need to set the time to be 0, shaking value to be 0, and then we show the icon tick here to go back to the very beginning condition of the device. And there's one more thing that I would like to remind every one of you. That is, we would like to pause the program right after playing the recorded voice once. And as I mentioned in the previous part of this video, that we need to pause the program after playing the recorded voice. And the number of here, the value here, we set to be 2000 milliseconds, that is 2 seconds. Then that is because in my case, I just record the voice for around 1 second only to tell the user to wake up. And then so the voice is short, and then we have a shorter pausing duration. But if you have a longer duration voice recorded, then you need to lengthen this number. So let's say if you record a voice message for 10 seconds, then I would suggest you to pause for 11 seconds here. So this value highly depends on the length of your recorded voice. So that is the end of the whole program, and then you can try to download the whole program into your micro:bit to test the whole devices.